Well, welcome fans to another episode of Beltway 95 Sports. This week's episode, the Washington football team versus the Carolina Panthers. Then Washington ended up blowing a golden opportunity to capture the East. Haskins gets benched during the game for Heinicke and ended up losing his starting job on Monday morning. We'll cover that and more on this week's episode of Beltway 95 Sports. Thank you. Well, welcome back to another exciting episode of Beltway 95 Sports. We call this Hit the Road Jack. Meaning that Haskins, we all know Haskins lost his job on Monday morning, but we're going to get into the game. Washington at the halftime would end up being 20-3, and somehow Haskins never really got anything really started. At one point, you'll see some of the highlights that we end up having here behind me, that at one point of the game, his receiver was covered by 3 defenders, and he decides to throw the ball in his direction. Ended up getting picked, of course. All of us could see that. Another part of the game, where another receiver's downfield, Haskins throws in another coverage. That ball gets picked off. And it's just like this. It's just like I just kind of look at some of the plays and mistakes that Haskins made. I don't know if he's still suffering from the media coverage that he got over the week because of the club incident. At one point, one of the receivers, when the Carolina Panthers kicked the ball to one of the receivers, the ball bounces off him, goes into the end zone. Carolina recovers it, gets 6 points. So it was some miscues in the defense, but also Haskins still has to control or manage the ball game because that's what we're getting paid for. But just to see him be kind of out of sync, and I'm not going to say the kid don't care because he's a professional at one point, but it's just how this, as a Washington football team fan, you guys know this is how this organization operates. It starts from the ownership all the way down, and it's been like that for years. It seems like this organization cannot get it right for some reason. But going back towards the game, Rivera decided that he had saw enough with Haskins. He wasn't getting anything done. And at that point, they want to win this game to get the East. Get it done, get it over with, don't have to worry about it. So Heinicke comes in to come in, Taylor Heinicke. At this point, I never really heard of the kid. But he gets in the game, and it kind of, you can see the pace of the game change with him. He's making some great passes, short, intermediate passes. And the exciting part about him, he actually used his legs. That I don't understand. Haskins really didn't do that. He did in some plays, but if you don't see any open receivers, you got green grass, use your legs to pick up those first downs. And I saw Heinicke do a couple of those plays like that, especially leaning towards the end of the game, where he had broke for, I think it was about 15 yards, picked up the first down. He kept moving the ball. He had a nice steady pace of the game. And then one point at a time, right before they scored, it was just under 3 minutes left on the clock. Heinicke had made a pass to the end zone, caught the ball. Now you got 1:30 left on the clock. Of course, that time they tried to get an onside kick, wasn't successful. Carolina recovers the ball. They go in victory formation, seal on the ball, run out the clock, and game over. But the big highlight, the drawback that I have for that, Dallas ended up winning. So now it's crazy. It's crazy now. It comes down to Sunday, the last game. Hey. And we gotta win. Of course, you guys all know we have to win that game. If we don't, possibility Dallas might end up winning the division and going to playoffs. They don't even have their starting quarterback, and that's crazy. But if you're from the area, you understand how this team operates. It's been like this year in, year out. And every year we have high hopes and to be let down. And it starts from, like I said, starts from the ownership. If you're running, you have a good organization that's running, how Haskins, some people say Haskins has a maturity issue. You bring that kid in. You say, look, if I have to partner you up with somebody, if you got to stay in the house and get rid of some of these bad people out of your life, that's what you got to do, because this is still a business. He's very young. I know he's 23 years old. And when you're that young and you get all this fame, this money, sometimes you don't take the work ethic really to heart. But this is just how this whole organization has been operating for years. And some of the highlights here, you'll see how there were some good plays in the team. There were some bad plays. But some of the blame is on the defense. But we're going to put most of the blame on Haskins because he is the leader of the team. He lost his captainship this week over bad judgment call about going to a club shortly after the Seattle Seahawks loss. And with all the videos that's out there, all the YouTubes that cover the Washington football team, you know, Ed Oliver has a great channel. We all have our own opinions towards the team. I just think that if we win this game next week, it could be Alex Smith, it could be Taylor Heinicke starting. We just focus on the game. Can't focus on the past. Haskins got released Monday morning. You'll have a copy of his statement have released to the media. Shortly after the game, apparently he left and went home, and he didn't even associate with the media what he's required to, being the starting quarterback. Heinicke ended up taking those duties. He went home. They tried to reach him. He said he was driving. He wasn't able to pick up his phone. And when he got home, he decided to say, you know what, I need to speak to the media so at least I can kind of, you know, make some kind of resolution out of this to kind of, you know, bring back his career. But I do see Haskins starting somewhere next year. He'll eventually get another opportunity. What he does with that, that's up to him. But with this video, I'm going to end it right there. I want you guys to be safe. Wear your mask. Stop the violence in D.C. We care about the community. And with Beltway 95 Sports, it's not always about sports. We have down here, if you can see, a copy of these new Maryland license plate. We'll have a copy up here so you can see it right here clear. Those plates are used to help people with special needs and autism. We have a picture with Governor Hogan with the Maryland belt. It's the Maryland belt with the Washington football team mannequin that's sitting over here. So this channel is Sports with a Cause. It's not just about us. It's about, you know, building the fan base, and the proceeds from the channel will go towards Maryland Special Olympics and children with autism and adults with autism and special needs. So I want you guys to be safe, wear your mask, and thank you. And catch you next, next week's episode of Beltway 95 Sports. Hopefully win the East by that time. Thank you.